speak with you. Louis, I have so much to ask you about your wonderful work on the show. I love your work with every character, but specifically with Norman and your stuff with Daryl. Tell me about building that relationship. What was it like working with him and building your character up so wonderfully?
I mean, he really put me in the role really quickly. He really put me in a good position where I had never acted before, right? And so he kind of taught me everything. So I really look up to him, and I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, I mean, we've built a really good relationship also off camera. I could consider him a friend, you know? And so yeah, but also you see the two characters bond, and it's really a marvelous story.
Yeah, I feel like Daryl sees a lot of himself in your character, and there's just this kind of little brother aspect, which is funny because he was a little brother seasons ago on his own series. So it's just interesting to see. Now, Eric, I love that you're returning for a second season, and your character is so interesting, so complex. Other than a steady work job, just having a return for a second season, is there anything about Falou that brought you back for this season that you wanted to explore?
Yeah, I think Falou is, I mean, he's a warrior. He's the leader of the Union of Hope. But in season two, he's getting softer a little bit, yeah. And he's just showing more of his empathy, more of his love, and more his tenderness. And I love that idea.
Yeah, I love that Falou gets to actually feel more human this time around, and you get to add so many layers. What was it like working with from season one to season two? Did you feel your dynamics with the actors changing?
But I mean, from the beginning, the dynamic was already there because he's a family. He's a huge the Walking Dead family. Just the bonding is so intense, and so even with Codron, who is playing the bad guy in the first season, and all of us, we were just like brothers and sisters.
I love that. And Louis, that kind of attaches to my next question. You're with these kind of masterclass actors with Eric and Melissa and Norman. Is there a piece of advice that any of these actors gave you that you're like holding on to as a budding actor in this industry?
You know what? I remember one thing in season one where it was my first scene where I had to kill Walker Quinn, my father, and I remember it was kind of hard for me, kind of doing. I wasn't really ready for that yet, and Norman just had to talk with me, and we spoke for about maybe 5 minutes or something, just about that, and he just said, "Let yourself go, just do it, just do it, just you don't care about the camera, you just do it as you think it should be," and I'd done it finally, and I guess it was good. I could say it was good.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I remember, maybe too many things that they told me. So
No,
uh,
good. Keep it in, internalize it because you're doing well. Now, Eric, I have one last question for you. I always say the French are known for these very intense horror films at times. What was your history with the genre before joining The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon? Did you like horror movies?
Not to tell you the truth, I mean, I did horror film like 10 years ago. I didn't watch it because I couldn't stand the blood. And but this time I watched the show. And when I was cast, I watched the first season, and I watched our season, the Daryl Dixon show, and all those two seasons, and I really enjoy it because I really enjoy it because it's so fun. And the thing is, the walkers and the zombies are so different from the others, and so it brings something, the suspense and something edgy in the show that different, and I really enjoy it. So I'm gonna be a new fan of zombies film and horrors. I'm getting into it.
I've spoken to so many Walking Dead actors. Like I spoke with Denai Guerrera for her own show, and I just love her. She's like, "No, I don't like horror." I'm like, "But you guys are so good at this, like so good at a genre that you don't even want to watch." I always am amazed by that.
Yeah, that's right. That's
No,
fantastic.
thank you guys so much for speaking with me. It was a blast, and I love what you guys have done for season two. So I can't wait for more people to see this.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited to speak with you today, and especially I have so many questions for your villainess, but I want to start off with your history with the horror genre. I always feel like the French are known for some hard-hitting horror films. What was your background with the genre before you got into Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon?
Not much, actually. It's not, even though I know that there's a history for, I loved, it's funny because when I met Greg Nicotero, I remembered really well Les Contes de la Crypte, the tales of the crypt, the tales of the crypt. Would that, I don't know how to translate it. In France, it was Les Contes de la Crypte. And I knew he worked on it, So that was a bit, but I didn't have much. I knew The Walking Dead then, but most of all because it was more a story about humans than a story about zombies, and that's what it really interested me.
I love that. I love that The Walking Dead brings in the horror fans, but then you get stuck in for the drama, the human stories as well.
Of course. And I got stuck because lots of people told me that it was really great, and I started watching it, going, well, zombies, and it was amazing. And what is left of humanity when society collapses.
Mm-hmm. No, Rome, I love that you're returning this season. This is your second outing with this. Was there a goal returning from season 1 to season 2 that you wanted to achieve with your character or just on set as an actor?
Oh yeah, there were many goals actually. The main one, I think, it was to be able to understand this character and what happened in the end of the season 1 and in the beginning of the season 2, to understand him and to understand what was going on inside. I don't want to say too much, obviously, but so yeah, to understand this evolution, it's a big arc. We started from something very specific, and then we're going to a really new direction in a way. Maybe not, who knows? But so yeah, that was one of the main thing.
You did great with keeping that spoiler free. I applause to you because I know it can be hard sometimes. No, and I love the villains of The Walking Dead. I mean, you're stepping into something that was filled by Alpha and Negan, these big characters. Tell me about being a villain. Were you excited for it? Because my goodness, I could watch you be evil and sip wine all the time.
Oh yeah, yes. I could be evil and sip wine all the time, I couldn't believe it, really, because it is something that I loved as well about The Walking Dead, all those villains and the Whisperers, and what was done, and then it was so incredible. So to be lucky enough to be interpreting one of them and to have that, it's a huge character. It's a huge character, and you know a bit how she became what she is, but at the same time, everything has to be built up with David and Greg and all the team. So that was it was. I felt so lucky, so privileged.
I love it.
And I enjoyed it so much. Not only sipping wine, as you would believe, but as well to be, the nastiness and the calm. It's not that she's nasty. Actually, that's what I was saying before. She really believes she's doing the right thing. She really believes she has a vision and she can make things better.
And I think you sell that so well. I believe your character, even at her worst. Sometimes I'm like, well, maybe she's not 100% wrong.
We're all getting there.
I love those kind of characters, and I think you play that well. And I love both of your characters so much. So thank you guys for speaking with me today. I'm excited for people to see your deliciously dark sides this season.